On today's flip, I'm redesigning this extra special buffet. I can't wait to tell you the story behind this one. This is a very long Thomasville buffet. This is the first piece of furniture given to me by a fan of this channel, so it's extra special. I'm excited for her to see what we did with this piece. This buffet is in excellent shape. It did not need any repairs to the body of the buffet. It is a Thomasville, and it had some deeper scratches and gouges on the top of this because it did have a very heavy hutch top sitting on it. But we'll fix those, and you won't believe what this can turn into. Stay tuned. Before I get started, this hardware has got to come off. I don't think I'm going to reuse these again just because they're old and just a bit dated, not really in style anymore, but the poles that are on the bottom are definitely in style and we can save those. So I need to find something to do with these top 3 circles, but the ones on the bottom I'm going to be able to use again. The poles on the bottom were attached with tiny nails, so I used my special tool from Amazon to remove those. This is great for getting out small staples and little nails like these. I'll link it in the description below. Next, I'll use some Simple Green to make sure I get off all the dirt and grime. Even though this piece is in really great shape, it's very important to always clean your piece before you can start painting. Simple Green also removes any furniture polish that's been used over the years and any waxy residue or oil that may have been left behind. You must do this before you can start your next steps. Now that I've cleaned my piece, it's time to scuff sand. I'm using a 220 grit sand pad on my Surfprep sander. My Surfprep sander has a squishy foam attachment on it so that I can get into all these rounded corners and edges on this beautiful buffet. A good scuff sand gently roughs up the surface so that your paint has something to adhere to. While I was sanding the top of this buffet, I made a really strange discovery. All those big gouges, when I started sanding them out, they started turning white instead of looking like raw wood. I assumed this top was veneer, but upon further investigation, it was plastic. It was all laminate. The entire top of this Thomasville buffet was laminate. I took a recording of taping the top of it, and I sent it off to my good buddy Barry at Mad City Modern just so he could confirm my suspicion. And indeed, the top of this was all laminate. A little interesting side note for those of you who watch furniture flippers on YouTube, there's a big group of us who are all friends, which I think is pretty cool. Chances are, if you follow me, you already know who Barry is, but if not, go check out his page at Mad City Modern. You won't be disappointed. Now that I've kicked up quite a mess with my sanding dust, I'll take some warm water and wipe it all back. Since I learned that the top of my buffet is laminate, and laminate tends to be a little slick, so I'll use my Rust-Oleum 2-time bonding primer in a flat gray color since I'm going to paint this buffet in a dark color. I only need to use this on the top since the rest of the buffet is wood. This morning, I'm doing one of my least favorite chores, wrapping the drawers so they don't get paint all over the sides. I hate doing this, but it's gotta be done, so let's go. I got out my painter's tape and some butcher block paper to protect these drawers from any overspray. You can do the pizza box trick, as I've shown you in some of my videos before, but these drawers had like a double ledge on them, and I wanted to make sure that one of the ledges got painted and the other one didn't. So rather be safe than sorry, I covered up the details that I didn't want to have paint on them. This buffet is going to get 2 coats of Sherwin-Williams Emerald Urethane Trim Enamel in a satin finish. I'm using the color Tricorn Black, which is one of my favorite deep blacks from Sherwin-Williams paint line. The trim enamel has built-in top coat, so it's going to save me a step in the end. I'll pour this into my gravity-fed HVLP spray gun and just add a little bit of water to the top to help it go through smoothly. And I'm ready to paint. One of my most asked questions I get on this channel is what kind of compressor do you use? So I thought I'd show you. I have a 20-gallon compressor from Harbor Freight. It lives in its own little soundproof box so that I don't disturb my neighbors. We built this box just for my compressor, and when it's not running, I'll open the door so that it gets plenty of ventilation and doesn't overheat. It sure does cut down on the noise, and I know that my neighbors appreciate that. Now that my paint has run through the strainer, I'll give everything 3 good coats for full coverage. While you're watching me paint, let me tell you about Patreon. Patreon is a membership platform that makes it easy to connect with creators like me. I've created 3 different tiers over there, so there's a little something for everybody. Whether you're interested in exclusive behind-the-scenes access to what is in my garage each week, extra furniture flips and tips that I can chat a little bit longer about and not be cut off by a time limit, live chats once a month, Q&As, budgeting questions, more info on our story and how we found financial freedom through flipping furniture. It's all there. I'm flipping up some extra exclusive content just for my Patreon subscribers. You can join me at patreon.com/lemons to lemonade furniture, or just see the link that I've left below. I can't wait to meet you over there and connect even more. Now that the body of the buffet is done, it's time to work on the drawers. I ended up using the pizza box trick anyways because it was so windy that day, it helped to hold the paper down. Now that my first coat of paint is dry, I'll do a light scuff sand before the next coat. I'm using a 600 grit sanding pad to get rid of all the bumps that may have formed. As you could see as I was painting, that this paint does have a bit of a shine to it, and I want to keep that glossiness, so sanding in between coats will really help. Okay, so I went to Hobby Lobby because they're having their half off sale on all their knobs, and I found two really cute options for those top drawers. The first one were these clovers, which I just loved, and they were on sale for $2.50. And then I found just these basic sort of round knobs because I wasn't sure what was going to go best with the old hardware that was already on there. And these were originally $6, and so they were marked down to $3. The knobs that I picked out were black, and the original hardware on this was brass, so I need to use some spray paint to get them to match. Originally, I went with black for an all black look, but once they were dry, I didn't really like it against the buffet, so I used a light spray of the color Champagne Mist on all of the hardware to give it more of a golden look. Here's a look back at where we started with this very large and unique Thomasville buffet. Wait till you see its updated look. I loved everything about this flip. The piece itself was just absolutely beautiful. The simplicity of the new knobs mixed with the elegance of the black glossy paint just really pulled it all together. This flip was extra special all around, especially because it was donated to me by a fan that I will never forget. I listed this on Facebook Marketplace and it sold within the hour, which I was not surprised. What do you think of today's transformation? Let me know in the comments below. Join me next week as I take you thrifting in Dallas with me, and you can see what it looks like to thrift in the big city. Don't forget to come visit me over on my Patreon page, and I can't wait to connect with you more in 2023. I'll see you next time on Lemons to Lemonade Furniture.